Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers.
Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
All right, let's bring in our first VIP guest. He is, of course, Jason Rantz. You see him all over Fox News. He is the host of the appropriately named Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red 770. That is in Seattle, Tacoma, 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, excellent, man. Merry Christmas belated. What'd you do for the holiday?
Well, so I'm Jewish, which means I was bored to tears on Thursday. I can appreciate everyone spending time with family, but for my people, everything's closed. And so a lot of quality time with my dog, but it felt good to kind of not do anything for once. So
Yeah.
I leaned into that.
I quote Snoop Dogg, the best plans and no plans. And sometimes, yeah,
Exactly.
it's good just to have a great staycation, hang out with the dog. My Jewish friends here, since, we were kids, they would go to a movie because some movie theaters are still open. And then they'd, at least in New York, maybe Seattle's different. There are restaurants that are open and they would do that. And they say it's like the best day of the year because they get a day off. Yet they don't really have to do like a holiday thing with relatives, but it's like a vacation. And I guess Seattle, maybe they don't have the same options there. Or maybe you just didn't feel like spending money. But I admire your day because mine's been nonstop for the last 2 days. I am utterly exhausted. I need a vacation from my vacation, but so be it. Anyway, so we're going into 2026 and just big picture. What do you see as far as the midterms? Now, let me couch this a little bit because we kept hearing that the Democratic Party after 2024 was dead and buried. And then we saw these elections. And look, I live in Jersey. I get it. The governor's race here was won by the Democrat, but it wasn't really even close when people thought it would be. Virginia, a guy named Jay Jones literally fantasizes about his political opponent, a Republican, being shot twice and then his children dying in their mother's arms. There's actual proof of him saying this, and he still wins. So I don't know if the Democratic Party is dead. I'd like to say that the Trump economy is really doing well now, and if that continues to do well, then that should result in perhaps Republicans holding back the House. But I don't know. I think some voters out there are just so anti-Trump or just so they just want to believe what they want to believe that maybe Dems take back the House anyway, and then we head to perpetual impeachment of Trump for his final 2 years.
Yeah, look, anyone who tells you they know how the midterms are going to go this early on is doing nothing more than speculation. In the context of, to your point, the economic news that we're going to see in the first few months, the tax cuts, the IRS refund checks, depending on what that is, what that looks like for the average person, that completely changes everything. If you feel really strongly about the economy, you obviously come into the new year with some good economic news that I like the experts say, oh, well, we didn't know this was going to come because of all the uncertainty over tariffs. Well, this administration has been pretty certain as to the strength of the economy, and media outlets just completely ignored that. So I don't know how much of that is truly being felt yet by the American people, but the second that they do feel more confident, everything on the ground changes. And so come, 3-4 weeks from now, we'll start to get a little bit of a better sense. And then in a few months, we'll get the true sense. And if people are feeling good, obviously going to bode well for Republicans. I think both sides are overstating their cases a little bit when Republicans say there's nothing to worry about. That's clearly not true. They always should be worried. Every party should be worried. Democrats who say, oh, we're going to completely sweep, it's going to be another blue wave, that's also overstating things a little bit. You've got places like Virginia and New Jersey, which I don't necessarily think are the best test cases.
No.
Virginia is still a blue state. I know people want to pretend that it's a little bit more purple because of Glenn Youngkin, but Glenn Youngkin is a once-in-a-generation kind of politician for Virginia. It's still deeply blue, and you still have a lot of deeply anti-Trump Democrat voters there. New Jersey is obviously not a red state either. When you look at some of the other results where Democrats did really well, these are Democratic strongholds. I expect that Mamdani's going to do well in New York City, the same way I expect Katie Wilson, his socialist counterpart in Seattle, to do well. That's just generally how things go. I think there are some warning signs, at least as it relates to turnout for Republicans, and you always have to worry about turnout. But I don't know if any side right now can truly say they're confident or not feeling enough of the stress heading into the midterms. But we'll know in a few weeks when we get some better economic indicators of how the American people are actually feeling.
This shrimp and coconut sauce is divine. What's your secret?
Goya coconut milk.
How does it taste so good?
It's all in that real coconut flavor and that rich, creamy texture.
What about thickeners and added sugars?
None. Just smooth, coconutty goodness.
What can I make with it?
From curries to sweet treats like coconut flan, the possibilities are endless.
Goya coconut milk. Take your cooking to the next level. No question about it. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
This is Jason Momoa, and I'll be your finance professor today. Welcome to Banking Smarter 101 with Chime. Bam! First lesson, sign up for Chime and set up direct deposit. You'll be joining millions of members banking fee-free. Second lesson, get cash back on eligible purchases while building credit and a higher APY on your savings. That's how you bank smarter this season. Fa-la-la-la-la, class dismissed. Join Chime today.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and a secure Chime Visa credit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. Details at chime.com/fees-info. With a qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible secure Chime Visa credit card purchases. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. APY means annual percentage yield. Learn about credit building and more at chime.com.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
Absolutely. We're talking to Jason Rantz. You know, Stephen A. Smith, he may run for president on the Democratic side, but sometimes he sounds like a Republican. I guess, you know, I think the only way that you win if you're a Democrat in a general election is to at least try to appear as a centrist. Listen to this clip here where I think he makes an argument that every Republican should use going into the midterms. This is cut number 18. Go.
You want to ask why Stephen A. Smith felt the need to speak up at the NAB conference? Let me ask y'all this question. We supposed to leave it to Bernie Sanders and AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? We supposed to leave it with individuals that will tell you that it's perfectly okay to tax 70% of your money? Not that they gave out that number. I'm just speculating because of how socialistic they are in their thinking. We supposed to say that that's okay? Y'all okay with that? You okay with going to work and making $100 and walking home with 30?
See,
sure
I'd like to hear.
Are you
that
cool
more.
with it? Just tell me.
I mean, that's the question that people should be asking. Paint all Democrats as socialists because they're more and more going in that direction. And yeah, that's a very easy thing to absorb, Jason, where you make $1 or you make $100 and you only go home with 30. Do you agree with that? And I think that would resonate. We only got about a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think generally that will resonate. There's a problem if we're just focused on that, because I still think American voters want to hear some substance on what you will do rather than what you're opposed to. I think that's largely why Democrats lost when running against Donald Trump this time, was that they were just focused on how evil Donald Trump and his ideas were rather than proposing anything of their own. I still think generally Republicans are going to run into a problem with younger voters who want to be told that it's us versus them, rich versus poor, and that we're owed something. And so there has to be better messaging for younger voters to at least get them to rethink whether or not they're going to support some hardcore progressive, whether it's for president or anything else. I think this is a message that works really, really well for middle America and for older Americans who understand the dangers of socialism. But I still think you've got a lot of young voters who don't quite understand how deeply dangerous socialism is, and they like some of the promises. And we're not going to have enough time for failures under a Mamdani or a Wilson to really illustrate that point. I don't think it's going to happen that quickly. So we have to do a little bit of both, focus on socialism, but focus on some really good ideas as well.
And that's the whole thing, and that extends to Washington State as well, where that is a Memdani country as well. And you're right, it certainly is a generation of victimhood. Anyway, Jason, we got to go, but thanks so much for joining us, and we really appreciate it. I'll see you at Fox hopefully sometime soon, next time you're in New York.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. The great Jason Rantz, everyone. This is Joe Concha. We wrap this puppy up in just a moment.
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday Morning Show.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.